Hi my stitching friends, it's Amanda Mae with Ardith Design. Welcome to my Counted Cross Stitch channel where we celebrate all things stitching, including historic needlework and contemporary needle art. Those little threads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They here.
Yeah, they're on the bobbin already, pre-wound bobbins with wool thread. The Gentle Art Simply Wool. And then they have these here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am so happy that you're here. And if you're returning, I am so happy you came back to spend some time with me. I have a huge load of book haul to show you, all dealing with counted cross stitch. And I have a brand new pattern release that I would love to show you that I have available for digital download in my store. Without further ado, let's get started. I have been slowly accumulating my collection of counted cross stitch stuff, and I found this book this week at a bag sale, and once again there was the you buy it one book for $1 or a bag of books for $1. So I ended up getting this and a bunch of kids books for my kids, so I was really happy about that. I got in the bag of book sale Better Baking, sponsored by, and I just loved the colors of the mid-century, so I got that one. I was cracking up, I got the Beginning Antique Collector's Handbook, and they talked about chatelaines in here and a bunch of different little things. And I loved in the appendix, they talk about all of the different things that you should collect, the Beginning Antique Collector's Handbook. This is from, I believe, 1968. Yes, 1968. And it tells you in the needlework that you should be collecting samplers. Early ones are narrow. Display of juvenile sewing skill. Then it continues on, of course, coverlets, quilts, quilt patches, patterns, hooked rugs, hook rug patterns, embroidery pictures, mottos, tea cozies, peasant embroideries, embroidered pictures in wool or silk, articles made from old stitches such as needlepoint, flame stitch, or Hungarian stitch. And you should be looking for, in particular, purses, men's slippers, spectacle cases, needle cases, chair seats, bell pulls, etc. Well, I feel like I have been listening, and in my Save the Stitches, I have begun to do this. The list continues, you know, Berlin work, Turkey work, which I had never heard of Turkey work before, and that is wool knotted on canvas to imitate oriental carpets for 18th century floor coverings. Who knew? Braided rugs, tatting, crocheted work, embroidered centerpieces, including eyelet cutwork, solid work in white on linen, or fruit and flower designs. Y'all know how I'm a sucker for fruit and flower designs. And the list goes on and on. Of course, it tells you to be collecting thimbles, scissors, bodkins, sewing birds, work baskets and boxes like your shaker boxes. Where did I put my shakers? Oh, they're over there. And then it also tells us to collect the wax work. Treasure trove of information. Of course, because I can't let a good quilt book pass me by, I got a new book on quilting, well, new to me. And now here's kind of cross-stitch stuff. Michelle Garrett always tells me to, well, tells us in Flosstube land, always to pick up the Christmas stuff. And you know, I'm getting good at this stuff. When I look at this and I go, that's a Lizzie Kate. And sure enough it is. It's a snowman ornament without the iconic carrot nose. But there's some really nice little patterns in here. And of course, I found a couple that I liked, including, look at that peacock wreath. There was a lovely Fiber Talk episode from April 14th that Gary Parr put out with the Australian designers. They're down the Fox and Hound, no, Fox and, I'll link it below. And they were talking about peacock feathers and all the iterations of peacock design. So I thought that was fitting. I listened to their podcast earlier today. Very informative. But yes, here's the Lizzie Kate. And then look at that Santa, the three-dimensional. I really liked him and his beard with the swooshes. Of course, the sampler motif book. I think this is the Brenda Keys one. Yes, it is. And again, I have fallen hard for samplers. Thank you, Kitten Stitcher. And I am excited to say that I bid on and won my first ever antique sampler, and it arrived in the mail last week. I am absolutely thrilled, and now the work begins to reproduce it. Ah, I'm so excited. But little hands in my house, I don't know if any of you know, many of you know that I have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. And they're inquisitive and handsy, as most littles are. So I undid the sampler, and it is awesome. It is even better than I imagined it to be. But now I have to find a safe place to store it because I can't have little hands touching it. It's not framed. It came unframed, and it's 22 inches square, 22 by 22. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I can't even. Okay, more on that later. All right, so here's the sampler motif book I am so excited about. And of course, the colors are very dated. However, a great wealth of information, birds and carnations. And then I really liked this idea, and I have not seen anyone doing the non-conventional band samplers or cross-stitch stuff where it's not in a frame or in a box or on a box or as an ornament, but I really like that this is a guitar strap. I've seen in the past beautiful, bright, vivid, embroidered and machine embroidered guitar straps, but I've never seen a cross-stitch one. So I thought that was a really interesting idea, and I would love if anybody has one, you know, tag me on Instagram or send me a picture and share. And then I loved this. Many of you know I'm a sucker for trees. You know, redwood trees are my favorite. Right now, the pollen is going absolutely banana pants here in Maryland, and wow, so my kids ended up getting really bad hay fever this weekend, and it's just been a hot mess. The pollen, everything exploded as far as the pollen count. My tulips everything is everything is blooming. So I'm just, yeah, I know most places they were getting snow, Chicago, and oh my goodness. So look at that. Look at the dogs and the bunnies. So this is all by Brenda Keys for Reader's Digest. And I really enjoyed this book. I also got the 4 Seasons cross stitch Better Homes and Garden edition with spring is in the air, let's go fly a kite. And I did find a couple in here that I liked. I thought of Steph, of Pam and Steph, Just Keep Stitching. I cannot tell a lie. The cat did it. It's got the American history for Pam and then the cat stuff for Steph. I thought that was a good mashup. for cherries for George Washington's birthday. And Plum Street Samplery, she's got the really fun, the Happy Birthday, Mr. President for George Washington's birthday. And I have that on my to stitch list. Oh look, a bunny with more carrots. And this last one, oh, I thought this was so fun. I had never seen a sampler that featured a roller coaster on it before at the amusement park. And I really like that it has kind of the State Fair vibe with the corn, well, not vibe, it like actual stuff with the corn, the horses, you know, all of the sweet treats, the cows, you know, the 4-H and FFA, Future Farmers of America, showing their animals, their cows, and the roller coaster. So I just thought that was really fun. I never thought about having a roller coaster sampler. And yeah, Blue Ribbon Designs, the State Fair Pride is what it's called. So that's that book. The next book I found was Colorful Cushions for Needlepoint. And again, you can look at the charts and then translate it into cross stitch, into counted cross stitch. I really liked the unicorn design. Of course, the butterflies. I'm a sucker for a good monarch butterfly. And there was one in here that I mean, I love all of this stuff, but looking at it, like, what would I really like? And the answer is the medieval mythical unicorn. I just love that. I love unicorns. Maybe it would be easier and faster to just tell you the things that I didn't like, because I seem to love everything. Okay, the next one is by Brenda Day, Beautiful Cross Stitch. And I did find some really cool things in here. What I liked about this book is that it marries samplers, it marries, let me just show you, quilts, and then the translation into cross stitch. And I liked that about this book a lot. The salt box houses with the motifs, and then a corresponding the quilt. I really like that it shows the juxtaposition between the two. Look at this, the Art Nouveau pillow here with the geometric pattern work and the corresponding quilt and what it was inspired out of. And that's the bow tie quilt from Ohio 1920. And then it has the design for the Mennonite bow tie quilt there. And it tells you how to do it. It does not give you the quilt block, it just shows you the inspiration and the corresponding cross stitch design, but inspiration nonetheless. A good game board. I know that Corks and Stitches, she's doing as part, I know she's got like 162 or so. She's got a lot of really lovely projects, including a checkerboard that she is working on. Corks and Stitches, Jen Lee. Oh my goodness, so organized, so inspiring. And another person who's a sucker for a good game board is, of course, Pam of Pam and Stuff. So I saw this chessboard and I just love the geometric, and it does utilize metallic threads, but I just love that chessboard. It's really lovely. My husband actually collects chessboards. He collects chessboards, I collect cribbage boards. I guess we have a game board house. Who knew? Okay, this one is my favorite. Look at this backgammon board. Isn't that so lovely? I like it's got the mid-century stars to it. And if you change the colors out, you could even call it a Christmas backgammon board. So lovely. So this book was surprising, and I really feel like the cover art does not do this book justice, because there's way more Art Nouveau, modern, geometric things in this book. But look at the cover. It's got fruit on it, which of course I'm a sucker for a good fruit basket. But the game board would have been awesome as the cover art for that. Anyway, counted cross-stitch designs for the home. Gotta love a good rooster. but I would never put my put stitching on an oven mitt, because the first thing that would ever happen is I would reach in to grab that pizza or grab that molten hot casserole or something, and I would stain it or get something all over it. That's why I have the silicone grippy ones, so I don't, you know, completely mess up everything. I really liked the, I don't know if you can see it here, the butterfly, the circle there. And there are some nice patterns in here. The pansies. Oh, I liked this one because it's the bulletin. Sorry, I'm trying not to show this chart. It's the bulletin board, but I really liked the little mushrooms because I'm a sucker for gnomes. I love gnomes. Sorry, I'm trying not to show the chart. So it had the bulletin board and just some kind of unconventional things. And this, I loved this bulletin board here with the picket fence and the trees, and I liked how it's done on the dark fabric. And of course, little penguins. That's what I appreciated about this book, is that it showed designs, again, where it's, even though it was produced in the 80s, it doesn't just have the cream or the Fiddler's Aida, it shows different colored fabric, and I appreciate that. I got the Encyclopedia of Needlework. It's heavy and it has a lot of good information, and it's by Donna Cooler. There are so many designs of hers that are in my to stitch, would like to stitch someday list, including the Celestial sampler that Jennifer Upton has in her stitching queue. But I really liked, I have so much to learn, I really do, and I'm excited to be on this journey where I'm learning. And finally, y'all know me and my sustainable stitching and using up scraps, and I could not pass up the Save Those Scraps book. Look at that Noel quilt. And then, of course, everybody needs a pig tote bag. I mean, really, we all need pig tote bags in our life, and all the cute little things. So there's a lot of, this is not, this is all sewing related. Look at that. It's got, you know, a craft book isn't complete without the pretzel pillow and the cute kitchen koozies. I'm just saying. My next segment here is my new pattern, and I'm really excited to show you. This is a pattern inspired by spring, and here it goes. Here it is. It's called Tend Your Garden. And I thought about tend, the word tend, T-E-N-D, and I started thinking of all the different words that encapsulated tend. And I spelled out tend, okay, so tend, transcend is a T, then E, enrich, N, nurture, and D, dream. Nurture, dream, enrich, and transcend. And I was thinking about, as a mother, a lot of the kind of catchphrase the last couple of years has been self-care. And, you know, tending to your body, tending to your mental health. And so I thought about your body as your garden, as your temple. I also thought about your physical garden, you know, going out. I kept my kids out too long and they ended up getting hay fever. They're doing well. We're treating everything. But, you know, you're tending your physical garden and maintaining and cultivating and weeding and all the things. Nourishing, keeping the soil healthy, keeping your body healthy. And so I wanted, this design kind of encapsulates the kind of the mental, the physical, and maybe the metaphorical garden that you're tending. I finished this. It's on Lucky Penny by R&R Reproductions, the linen. I got the linen when I was down at Dying to Stitch last year when I went to Virginia Beach and met Anne and fangirled her. I surrounded this with pom-poms. It is on a chicken wire frame that I got at one of the big box stores. And then this purple fabric is actually a linen fabric that was once a women's linen button-down shirt that was destined for the landfill, but I made a donation to the thrift store and brought it home and cut up the shirt and translated it into this. This is the back of it. I still left the tag on to show the big box store where I got it. It's an 11 by 14 chicken wire frame. And then I attached it with just the little, the bread wire stuff. I can't think of what it's called. And then, of course, I'm a sucker for magnets now. So I attached it. The back has the metal washer, and then I put the rare earth magnet in the center there so I can change this out. And of course, you know me and my love of carrots. I have one of my decorative carrots. But this is the frame. And I could have shellacked it down, but I didn't. All right, so this pattern is 78 by, I get nervous talking about my own work, excuse me. Let me pull out my notes. It's stitched with 7 different colors, and I used fancy floss for a couple of the colors, but I do give the DMC translation, or the DMC conversion. This is 68 stitches wide by 75 stitches high. And again, I stitched this on 36 count Lucky Penny, but it could be stitched in a higher count. There are no specialty stitches, only full crosses, and I used 2 strands over 2 threads over 2 strands of linen. I just think it's really fun. Again, I kind of wanted to do the transcend as far as like the ethereal. So there's the stars and like your breath or the breeze, the flowers, and health, the heart for health, heart healthy. So here's my little design. Woo! I have so much more stuff coming up. I am excited. I have my new book that I brought out for Stitch Mania. My May Stitching Starts is available. Got my graph paper out. I've got so many things on my to-do list. I'm excited. There's so many amazing things to be grateful for, and I'm grateful for you tuning into my channel. I hope that you have a beautiful week. We had tornado warnings here. Literally, my phone did the beep, the really loud beeping, and it said to take cover because of tornadoes. So it's been an interesting week. I just have to keep moving forward and stay positive. Keep stitching, just keep stitching, just keep stitching. It's cold out because of the wind. We've had like gale force winds today, and I have this little blanket on me that I actually got at a yard sale last year for $1, and one of my kids uses it in the car as a car blanket. But I did a lot of laundry this weekend and washed the blanket, and here it is, and I wanted to show it with you. It's been well loved. As you can see, it's got I'm gonna wrap myself up, maybe make some hot tea, make sure my kids are okay. I would love it if you liked, subscribed, commented, and have a beautiful stitching week, and I'll see you next week. Take care.